daily gotta rock my vest. I'll shoot at your best man, yeah, your MVP. He played the front line, got struck down immediately.
Mayday, Mayday, massive fucking trade. 14 minutes ago, the Panthers moved up to number 1. What does this mean? Let me tell you, because we're doing an emergency mock draft. Out the fucking blue, here we go. Let's go ahead and make the move. Bears trading with the Panthers. Let me just say, I was not expecting this. Of all the teams to trade up, I was not expecting the Panthers, even though I did think it was a possibility. Let me see here. Let me find the fucking Panthers. Where are they? Here. Okay. So it was 9. It was 61. It was not the Panthers' first second round pick. It was their second one via the 49ers. And it was a first and their second next year. Oh, and DJ Moore, might I add. Oh my goodness. All for number 1. So the Panthers, they don't like somebody. They don't like a quarterback this draft. They love a quarterback in this draft. Who is it? That is what's going to be talked about for the next month or 2 or whatever the fucking draft is. I have no clue who it is. It could be any one of these guys. In my opinion, it's either Bryce or CJ Stroud. I'm going to go with CJ Stroud. Do I have any reason for this? No. That's just my gut feeling. I think they like CJ. That's just me. No source behind it whatsoever. Next up, Texans, Bryce Young. And you are going to quickly see how this changes the draft because watch. Brycing at 2, Will Anderson at 3. Very, typical draft right there. This is where things get interesting. The Colts need a quarterback. Who are they going to take? This is where things get exciting. They thought they were going to get Bryce or CJ. Fuck it. Now you're stuck with Will Levis or Anthony Richardson. Who do you like more? I'm going to say they like Will Levis more. And this is where things get exciting. Never before have my Seahawks had the option to draft Jalen Carter. All of a sudden, because the Panthers trade to number 1, they're now either guaranteed Jalen Carter or Will Anderson, and I could not be happier. Jalen Carter, you helped kill 2 people. I don't care. Come to Seattle. Oh, I'm so happy. Lions at 6 here. Does this trade affect them? I don't think so. I think Jalen Carter might have been an option had he fallen past the Seahawks. He doesn't. Their pick is going to stay the same. Usually it's Christian Gonzalez for me. I'll stick with that pick for them. Another move happened today, which will affect the pick later on. I'll get to that. Raiders here. Usually give them either Will Levis or Anthony Richardson. Only one quarterback on the board. They have to take a quarterback. Anthony Richardson to Vegas. Oh, that's a good landing spot for him, too. Assuming they bring back Josh Jacobs, having Josh Jacobs and the best receiver in football, in my opinion, and Devontae Adams, that's a good landing spot for him. That's a good landing spot. Falcons at 8. Does this affect them? Not really, because now the top 7 is still the top 7. From this point, the draft won't be shaken up too much. However, it will in a second. I'll get to that. And also, we got the Bears pick coming up. But here, the Falcons at 8, you take your pick, basically. Tyree Wilson or Myles Murphy, who do you like more? One of them is usually gone. This time for the Falcons, you're lucky. You get your pick. I'm going to say Tyree Wilson. I'm going to say they take Tyree Wilson at 8. Bears at 9. So many options. They just traded for DJ Moore, so now that top need you see right there, wide receiver, is no longer a top need. I think receiver could be in play here. If you love Quentin Johnston, take him. However, please, for the love of God, protect Justin Fields. And when you got all the top tackles off on the board still, I think that's what you go with. I think Paris Johnson is the safest left tackle prospect in this whole class. He's available. Take him. Don't even think twice about it. Eagles, today it was announced, they gave Darius Slay the permission to go and seek a trade. Darius Slay will not be an Eagle in 2023, 2024. So what does that mean? Guaranteed they take a corner. For all the people that laughed at me, I think it was like one guy on mock draft 2 who was talking about Eagles would never take a corner with a top pick. Suck my dick, they're guaranteed to. Who is it? Has to be Joey Porter, in my opinion. Could be a lot of other guys. Witherspoon, sure. Cam Smith, Ringo, I hope so. I think it's going to be Joey Porter, though. Safest cornerback prospect, most likely. In state, I like the pick. Titans, almost guaranteed to take a tackle. They usually have the option. Now they don't really have an option. In my opinion, though, it's still going to be Broderick Jones over Peter Skoronski because I think Broderick Jones has higher potential at tackle than Skoronski does. And I think he fits more with their power run scheme than Skoronski as well. I'm so excited. Texans at 12. I usually stick here with either a receiver or an edge player, and Miles Murphy is usually not available all the way down here. What does that mean? We're going to make things interesting. We're going to say they take Miles Murphy at 12. Jets at 13. Thankfully, Skoronski's still available. Maybe they trade this pick for Aaron Rodgers. Who knows? But they still have it for right now. Skoronski at 13. Patriots. A lot of players here who are not usually available, but I usually give them corner. And Devin McCourty, or McCourtney, I'm not sure. Devin McCourty, whatever. He just retired today. They still have a gaping hole in their secondary. They need a boundary corner. Devon Witherspoon, I've said it over and over. He just feels like a Patriot to me, and I think that pick remains the same. Packers here. Whole lot of needs. Lucas Van Ness is available. Brian Branch, Quentin Johnston. I mean, Michael Mayer. They all would fit on the Packers. Let me tell you that. Who's the pick? Who is the pick? This is a tough one, honestly. Is it the first receiver off the board? I think it has to be. I think of all your needs, wide receivers right up there, and you have the best wide receiver on the board, in my opinion. You can't pass up on him. Commanders here at 16. What do you do? Cornerback's a big need. Interior offensive line's a big need. And in my opinion, this pick is either Brian Branch, O'Cyrus Torrence, Cam Smith, or Cam Smith. Yeah. The last couple drafts, I've been giving them O'Cyrus Torrence. This time, I'll go back to Cam Smith. I just like the pick. I like the pick for him. Addresses a big need for him. Solid boundary corner prospect. Steelers at 17. Usually I give them offensive line, I believe. With Broderick Jones, he's not available. Cornerback. Only one real cornerback still, or one of the top cornerbacks, in my opinion, still available. That's Ringo. Let's give him Ringo here. Let's give them Ringo. Next up, Detroit. So a couple guys here who are not usually available. Lucas Van Ness, Michael Mayer. I usually give him Brian Brzee. Nolan Smith is guaranteed to shoot up draft boards. A lot of options here. A lot of options. I will give them Lucas Van Ness. Opposite to Aiden Hutchinson, James Houston in that pass rush rotation as well. Could be devastating. Could be absolutely devastating pass rush in Detroit. Buccaneers here. I think with Bijan available, I usually give him corner. None of the top 5 corners are available. Do you take Michael Mayer over potentially the top 5 player in the whole draft? I don't think so. I think Bijan, out of all those guys, out of all these guys right here available, Bijan is the only guy who has a chance to completely change that franchise. I don't think they can pass up on that at 19. Seahawks at 20. A lot of options here. A lot of options. We already took Jalen Carter, so that Brian Brzee option is not as appealing. Nolan Smith makes my mouth water. Pause. Offensively, getting Jackson Smith and Jigba, Michael Mayer, again, amazing options. I'm going to go with the boring pick. And the boring pick is the best interior offensive line prospect, O'Cyrus Torrence. We just released Gabe Jackson. We need a new starting interior offensive lineman. Let's take the best one in the draft at 20. I love that pick. Chargers 21. They need an injection into that offense. Is it Jackson Smith and Jigba? Is it Jordan Addison? Or is it Michael Mayer? Jordan Addison, disappointing 40 time. That is not everything. As a matter of fact, it's very little. But I think Michael Mayer at tight end, I think it makes the most sense. Ravens here. Who the hell knows what's happening with Lamar? It's 50-50 right now on whether or not he will play there next season. Even if he does or doesn't, who cares? They need a number 1 receiver. I think Jordan Addison would be that number 1 receiver for them. Point blank. Vikings, they just released Adam Thielen. This is a no-brainer. They just released Adam Thielen. They also released Cameron Dantzler today. Eric Kendricks a couple days ago. Jackson Smith and Jigba next to Justin Jefferson, it makes too much sense. Jaguars at 24. I usually either give them a corner or interior offensive lineman. Neither of those are available. Let's take possibly the best nickel corner in the whole draft. That's Brian Branch. Giants here. That sucks that Jackson Jigba and Jordan Addison both went right before this pick. Pardon me. Oh, bless me. Okay. What was I saying? No receiver available. Top receiver at least. Nolan Smith, interesting. I think last time I gave them Trenton Simpson, I'm going to do the same thing. He's a good prospect available here. I think it makes a lot of sense. Where is he? Here he is. Trenton Simpson at 25, I like it. Cowboys at 26, a lot of options. Sometimes I would give them Jahmyr Gibbs at this spot. They re-signed Tony Pollard. They are no longer in need of running back. I don't think they take corner at 26. I just don't think there's enough top-end guys available. So that means it's an injection into that offense. But who? Who is that injection? Is it a tight end to replace Dalton Schultz? I think that's what we're looking at. Who would that be? A guy who showed out at the combine, Darnell Washington. Also a very good blocker. Get a cheap option in the pass game. Also helps in the run game. I like it at 26. Bills at 27. This is pass rush for me. There's going to be pass rush in this draft class. Who is it going to be? I don't know. Maybe the most freakish pass rush prospect at the combine, Nolan Smith. Keon White could be another option, maybe. I don't think so, though. Bengals is interesting. With the recent Joe Mixon is on fire right now. He has his X Factor activated if we were playing Madden. He has his takeover if we were playing 2K. He cannot stop showing him and Ja Morant right now, and Sean Kemp. But Joe Mixon actually shot a child for playing with Nerf guns outside his house. Joe Mixon is a menace. He needs to be locked up. But so that leaves a big gaping hole at running back. But I think you can address that hole in the later rounds. I do not think you can get a guy like Anton Harrison in the later rounds. So I'm going to give him to them again at 28. Saints, another running back who will be spending time in jail, I believe, in Alvin Kamara. I think Jahmyr Gibbs is the next Alvin Kamara. Great fit. Available at 29. Why not? At this pick, 30, you'd love if Nolan Smith was available. We already got corner out the way. They just re-signed Brandon Graham, but still need some help there with the pass rush. Keon White, I think he's going to be a first rounder. I really do. At 30, I think it makes sense. This will continue to be. I will not draft a receiver for the Chiefs here. As long as I'm doing mock drafts, it's just too exciting. Which one of these guys is it? You could convince me of Zay Flowers, Josh Downs, or Jalen Hyatt. Jalen Hyatt ran the fastest 40 of any receiver, I believe, or at least close to it. Really impressive combine overall. I'm going to keep Jalen Hyatt there. And that's it. This emergency mock draft out of nowhere. I was not prepared for this at all, but the Panthers made a shocking fucking move. And that's how it plays out. Very different from many of my other mock drafts. Very different. And I'm happy. It's going to be a lot more of trades, hopefully, and that's going to shake a lot more things up. But, yeah, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, comment, and thanks for watching. Peace.
It's out the motherfucking pack. Right out the niggas don't know how to act.